I'm sorry, we're having a totally different conversation here, but I do know that the Rizzo Show starts right now. Woo!
MGM Northfield Park presents The Rizzo Show. And now your host, Tony Rizzo, with co-host Mike Polk Jr.
Oh, the MGM. Oh, the MGM. Welcome. Hello. Hello. Welcome to the Rizzo Show. Michael, have you been dealing with the rain this spring? It rains every day.
It does. It's almost like there's some kind of global crisis going on.
Either that or North Korea of trying to control our weather.
Who knows? Could be either.
It is time to talk a little Tribe. Michael, y'all fired up? Woo! Actually, I want to ask you today, are you ready to make major changes on the Indians? I think the Indians are waiting a couple of weeks, Michael, but I could see some real changes coming in the form of trades and maybe even, I know they played well in Boston over this past week,
right.
But they're a team that's not scoring any runs. They're a 500 ball club right now, and they're getting boat raced by the Minnesota Twins.
Yes, they are. And I think that we are seeing the problem with cutting about half of your payroll, not really, but pretty close to it, and losing all of your RBIs from last year. I think it's starting to catch up with them a little bit. That and their starting pitching, which is supposed to be the strength, being broken in half, and that's going to happen. And what's frustrating about that Boston series was you see the potential. And you see what this team could have been. We're still in this window where you can compete, and we don't have the tools to do it this year.
Good point on the pitching, because it has not been what we expected. But folks, you might want to look away from the television when I show you this. Look at the stats that walked out the door in the offseason for the Indians. 388 RBI, 108 home runs, and 13 different players. Michael, I know that the front office had no choice. I think his ownership said they lost $60 million and they had to cut payroll. But you can't lose that kind of stuff, Michael, and still compete in Major League Baseball.
They're paying for their hubris right now. They were under the assumption that we could compete in our weak division, because that's what we've been doing for years.
Yeah, only it's not so weak.
No, it's not anymore, because they made additions. Minnesota made additions over the last season, and we just lost people. So that'll catch up with you.
So who are some of the guys that have left? Well, let's take a look. There's Yonder Alonso. He's playing okay. Michael Brantley's going to be an all-star.
Yes,
and that
no
one
doubt.
hurts the most. Mike, $14 million is what I say all he wanted.
Right.
But in sports terms, that is not a lot of money. Edwin Encarnacion is hitting home runs. That's what he does. Yan Gomes has not played all that well. A lot of people feel like his best fit was in Cleveland. But Josh Donaldson's another guy that we could have had. I mean, these are guys the Indians didn't re-sign. Right. They're playing elsewhere. They're producing elsewhere.
And so's Yandy Diaz, too. Like, that guy's hitting. Wouldn't he look nice?
That was the Jake Bauers deal.
Yeah.
And Bauers is hitting 220.
Right.
I mean, I understand it's all economics, and I understand. But, folks, we're left here to watch this each and every night, and it's hard to watch. Are we spoiled? Yes. Have the Indians done a good job in the past? Yeah. They've been to the playoffs 3 years in a row. We can't overlook that. But we were supposed to go again this year, and Michael, I'm sorry, so far I just don't see. I would be shocked if the Indians make the postseason.
And you can't blame management. You can't blame Terry. He's doing what he can with, but there's only so many ways you can shuffle this around to try to make something work. We have Jordan Luplow hitting cleanup.
Actually playing well.
Would you have known his name a month ago?
No.
That guy, and he's batting cleanup for our Major League Baseball
Oscar Mercado.
Yes.
I have shorts older than Oscar Mercado.
Right. So there's going to be some
God
issues.
bless him. But don't forget about the bullpen, too. Cody Allen, Andrew Miller, Josh Tomlin, also all gone.
Yep.
That hurts you as well. I think the biggest disappointment this year, I know the team's not hitting, but they have a bunch of guys that were playing in the minor leagues last year or just got a taste of Major League Baseball. I think it's the pitching. Michael, what's wrong with Trevor Bauer? Okay, I get the injuries, and that hurts. You can't make up for that.
Right.
All right, Kluber and Clevenger, they miss him badly. But when you look at what else is going on here, Bauer's pitching. What's wrong with Carrasco?
Yeah, I know.
He looks terrible. Cookie, what is going on?
And Bauer started strong. That's what was frustrating, too. And then he just kind of fell off. I think he'll get his act back together. But the thing is, we have just a razor-thin margin of error. And we need them to be excellent because we're not hitting the ball.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that. It really shows up.
All right, let's talk about some bats that have been MIA for us. And I'll start with Jose Ramirez. No one knows the answer. I've talked to people on the team, people with the team, analysts for the team. What's wrong with Jose Ramirez? No one can explain it. The kid, he's batting 200. This is a guy that was an MVP candidate, okay, last year, and this year he looks like a minor league ball player.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the things that we were hanging our hat on. They were saying this is something that we can get away with by letting all these RBIs walk away because we always have Jose Ramirez, a perennial all-star to fall back on, and when he doesn't deliver, I've never seen anything like it in a batter where it's gone like that and gone that quickly.
Yeah, it's not a slump. A slump is 2 weeks. Okay,
Yeah.
this has been towards the end of last year, 2 months. 3 months, 2 months, it's just 4 or 5 month thing.
But you've seen, what really do you think this is? Is this mental? What is this?
I think it's 2 things. I do think it's mental. I think the pitchers have adjusted to him. He's not seen a lot of fastballs. But Michael, he also misses 400 RBIs and 108 home runs above him and behind him.
Yep.
You know, that's Frankie Lindor is back to being Frankie Lindor,
Right.
but Jose was clearly affected by the exodus that the Indians had take place in the offseason. Speaking of the infield, Jason Kipnis. Kip has not been right for honestly a couple of years.
Yep,
I don't know what it is. People tell me that it's injuries, which I understand.
Right.
It happens to everyone. He has less than 5 home runs and about 13 RBI. This kid I remember going to All-Star games to cover him, Jason Kipnis.
2016, wasn't that long ago, and he had an amazing season that year, and then he just completely fell off.
And by the way, some people I talked to say he never really recovered from the 16 World Series with that heartbreaking loss to the Cubs. Remember, he's from Chicago.
Some of this might be his style of play, maybe. I mean, how old is he? 33,
Yeah.
something like that. He plays hard. They called him dirtbag for a reason. He's down on the ground. Maybe it finally caught up with him on his body because that's got to take a toll after a while. But I don't understand why that means you can't hit all of a sudden.
Yeah. The other thing people don't want to talk about is Frankie Lindor because, as our owner said earlier this spring, enjoy him while you can. Michael, if the Indians are 15 games out of first place in July, Frankie Lindor's got to be here 2 more years under our power, but we're not going to be able to afford him when he's due the big giant contract. Would you think about dealing Lindor before the end of this year?
Boy, I'd seriously prefer not to. And I'm reading articles about this too and hearing it all the time about how we won't be able to afford him. There's a difference. That's not that we won't be able to afford them. It's that we're unwilling to afford them. Oh. And let's not make it sound like there's some ceiling that we're set, that Major League Baseball sets, which would probably solve a lot of our problems if they would do one of those. But this is the Dolan's choice. And so when we're saying that, we're saying the Dolans don't want to pay for him. It's not we can't afford him.
Feel free to mix in a salary cap.
Yeah.
Rob Manfred,
boy, that'd be
Commissioner
nice.
of Major League Baseball. What do you guys? Is it really better for baseball if the Yankees and Dodgers are good every year, and the Royals and the Indians and all the others? No, I don't think that's.
Are you seeing how many people are at these Kansas City games where they show like 11 people there and stuff?
Pittsburgh, the Pirates are in the same boat as us.
Yep.
I don't understand how that's good for baseball. It's good for your product, yet they continue to do it because the big markets are playing well and making them money and getting them television ratings. Something needs to change. Also, something needs to change with Trevor Bauer. Michael, you said he got off to a red-hot start. What is wrong with him?
I don't know. Maybe it's some sort of maybe he's having some kind of like a romantic squabble with his drones. I can't actually imagine because he's like mentally tough typically, and nothing physical seems to be wrong with him.
No, here's what the pitchers tell me that I know. He's dabbling too much. He's trying. Yeah, he's trying. He got too many pitches. Guy's got a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and he's throwing everybody breaking balls.
He's overthinking it.
Yeah, overthinking it way too much. Plus, he almost feels like they tell me if he doesn't strike the batter out, it doesn't count as an out. Like if it's a pop-up or a ground out, it doesn't. He's trying to strike everybody out. That's impossible to do in Major League Baseball.
That's somebody who could also be on the trading block, obviously. Has he hurt his value a lot by the way he's been playing this past month?
I believe so.
So that screwed the Indians.
We screwed us with Kluber because he got hurt. Bauer because he's not pitching as well. We're in a tough spot. All right, here's the elephant in the room. We can't tell the Dolans to sell the Cleveland Indians. But at some point, they have to look themselves in the mirror and ask, is this really the best thing for the franchise right now? Listen, it was a hell of a run. Mike, people don't give them enough credit.
Right.
I mean, they went to the playoffs, should have won the World Series in 2016. They're doing it with small market, and I admire them for that. but it looks like the party is going to be over, that the money's getting out of hand. They're not going to be able to operate like they did in the 2000s.
Yeah, and you have to accept that reality if you're them. You can't act like this is something that is just against you and that you have no choice in this matter. You have to say, if we're not willing to keep investing in this, then maybe it's time to consider selling the team. And I've been calling for that for quite some time.
Yeah, I know, but I wonder if anybody's asked them, I would love to hear the answer. If they asked Paul Dolan straight up, how long do you plan to own the Cleveland Indians? Because it was Larry's team and his passion, his father, and then Paul took over when Larry got up there in years. Well, Larry's up there in years. Do they still want to own this team in, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years?
Remember how we made Randy Lerner real sad until he sold the Browns? That worked out. I mean, not originally, but it seems to be working out now. But we just told him that, Randy just said, enough is enough. I'm tired of getting yelled at. So maybe we just need to yell at him more. So if you see the Dolans on the street, thank them for what they've done in the past, and then yell at them and tell them to sell the team.
The Indians, brace yourself. The Indians host the Central Division leading. Oh, there's me to say it. Minnesota Twins, the Twinkies, Tuesday night begin a 3-game series. Coming up, it's a big week for the Browns. As the veterans are due to report, will OBJ be here? Stay with us. Hey now, welcome back, y'all. Hey, welcome back to the Rizzo Show. Well, Browns wrapped up their organized team activities. I know. So what is next, Michael? Mandatory veteran mini camp, which begins Tuesday. Now, did you know this? 80 grand if you don't show.
Wow.
A day.
That'll probably mean a lot to
Duke Johnson, hi. Uncle Rizzy here. 80 grand a day.
Yeah,
do you expect to see Duke for 80 grand a day?
I don't know. How much is that chip on his shoulder worth to him, I suppose, what you have
He
to
does not have a $15 million. He's making about $4 million a year.
Right.
Oh, poor guy.
No, he'll be in there. He's got to be in there, right?
Do you expect to see OBJ? This is the only. This is like that Bigfoot film that we saw for 30 years. It's the only OTA play we've seen with Beckham Jr.
And they slowed it down and looked at it from different angles.
And they stopped it. And posted it on a. Michael, I fully expect to see Odell Beckham Jr. here.
Right.
I thought it was a bad look that he wasn't here. I'm not going to be concerned about it. Listen, folks. Baker Mayfield's really good, and I don't want you to forget, Odell Beckham Jr. is really good. They'll figure out a way to get the ball to him this fall, but it is the story for now. We can only live in the now.
Right.
And the now is he's been to one of 11 organized practices that his other teammates were at.
If he's somewhere getting his head right, I'm fine with it. I think this is an overhyped story by the media because we're bored, so everybody we have to have something to talk about.
You're right.
And I think it's harmful. I think it's bad that that's all the questions we're asking for Eddie Kitchens. I think it's bad for OBJ's head because he is impressionable. He's yelling. They're all yelling at Colin Cowherd online all summer because they're so bored. I mean, we need to get some football under their belt because right now
loves that. By the way.
Of course he does. But I can't wait for this portion of it to be over and just for the rest of this to start.
We only have something like 97 days left.
God.
97 days. Mike, what percentage of Freddie Kitchens' job will be dealing with drama? Because he's already had to do it.
Well,
he did not look happy the other day.
No.
Last Thursday when they asked him about where's OBJ.
Right. No, he's in for it, man. We got the problem with having a bunch of high-profile prima donna players on your team. They're very good, but you also have to deal with the baggage that comes with them.
Now, if OBJ shows up on Tuesday, here's the big question.
Right.
Ready? Will he be in this ride? Folks, I want you to understand, we all work hard for a living. That car is $500,000. It's a $500,000 Rolls Royce painted orange, and the figurine of him on the hood.
Right.
When's the last time you had a figurine? When we were kids. Do you remember the burning figurines?
Yeah, it's a starting lineup.
Right.
Starting lineup. I have
figurine.
one on my Hyundai right now.
Right.
It's right up front.
Do you have one of you on your hood, though?
That would be a bit arrogant.
That's what he has.
I know. Here's what I don't think he's taking into consideration yet. Because he hasn't lived in Cleveland, obviously. You're not going to be able to drive around in that without all of us swarming up to your car. We know that that's you. So every stoplight that he rolls up to, he's going to get a bunch of people rocking the car like he's in Night of the Living Dead. and so I hope you're ready for that, buddy, because that's what's about to go down.
Well, I'm sure no fans will bother him in that ride.
Oh, of course
he's in
not.
Berea.
Right.
Well, speaking of sweet rides, Mike and I have a great treat for you. Coming up, you want to see two grown men race a tractor? Well, you stick around because you're going to see it.
You're going down, son. I'd love to. Thank you so much. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Rizzo Show. Tony, were you even aware before our recent journey to Burbank, Ohio, that there was a Burbank, Ohio?
No, and I'm a little embarrassed because I take calls from all over the state on ESPN Cleveland Radio, so I was a little embarrassed.
Yeah. So what did we go down there for? I don't even remember. It was so long ago.
Well, check this out. Folks, we're here at Ag Pro. This is the ultimate man cave right here. Look at this. Look at this machinery. Tara, you are here with me. You run this place. Explain how wonderful this place is and all the things you have.
Well, it is definitely a one-stop shop. Anything you need, whether you're just, doing a little bit of yard maintenance, whether you have a huge area to mow, whether you've got older equipment you're looking to upgrade, maybe you have some newer equipment, you need some parts, you want to throw some wheels on there, whatever you need, we've got it here.
Backhoes, from mowers to backhoes to tractors to everything, and of course, John Deere is the #1 brand in America.
You got it, you got it. Lots of choices, great options for specials going on right now too. So maybe if you're looking for a riding mower, we have anything our Select and Signature series. You can get a free 10P cart too. So not only get a mower, you get a cart, do a little yard work, mulching, whatever it may be.
And I would imagine with the volume you guys have here, you're able to offer prices that are hard to find.
Great prices. Some of these lawnmowers as low as like $59 a month. If you don't want to pay for it up front, do some financing. We've got that option. But yeah, we'll keep you covered and whatever you need.
Plus, it's just fun. I'm sorry, I grew up pushing a lawnmower as a kid in the 70s. I mean, this is like driving a Porsche.
Absolutely, yeah. Comfortable seats, high back seats. No sense to be uncomfortable when you're doing work.
I can't wait for the cooled seats. That's coming next. Now, I'm sorry, Tara. I thought my partner, Mike Polk Jr., was supposed to be here, but is that him? Did you tell me you knew how to run a tractor?
Yeah, like a 1920s one.
Okay, so what this is really souped up. This is basically like a go-kart, right?
Pretty much. Yeah.
All right, have at it, young man.
Right, well, we'll see what happens. And we're insured through the station, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, don't worry about anything.
Just making sure. Oh, she's smooth. Oh, she's smooth.
Wow, zero turn.
Look at that. Oh, on a dime, baby.
And there he goes, into the Wild West, my partner.
Yeehaw. See you guys. I'm heading to the Burger King. Where are you at, Riz? I don't know. It doesn't have a stop. Okay. It's just that easy, folks. Even an idiot like me can drive one.
Let's go. Let's race right now. Let's go. Ready, set, go.
Uh-oh.
Come near me. He's got the faster buggy.
She's got the juice, Riz. This one's got the juice.
Oh my God, you are dangerous on that.
They've got some stones to it. Careful, Chuck.
You had the souped up machine, boy. I like that vehicle.
Oh, wah. I took you to the cleaners at John Deere.
I can't believe I got beat by Woody from Toy Story there, folks.
Hey!
You look great. I don't know.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. And yours had the roll bar, so I should have known it was a little faster.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. And I've had to use that before as a landscaper in the past. I've rolled over in those things.
Well, those things are so great.
You never know, though.
You could drive your John Deere all the way to the MGM Northfield Park, partner.
Nice.
Check out what's happening there this week.
There's a new show in town, Northeast Ohio, and we brought the spirit of Las Vegas with us. We're blowing the top off with 8 chances to win a 2019 Ford Mustang convertible during our Harness the Horsepower 8 Cars in 8 Days giveaway in June. All M Life Rewards members earn 1 entry for each point earned starting June 1st and can earn 3 times entries on Thursdays. Drawings are every Tuesday and Friday at 9 p.m. Introducing TAP at MGM Northfield Park. Enjoy comfort food, pub classics, and a large selection of beer. Catch your favorite team on one of over 75 TVs while being surrounded by Ohio sports memorabilia. Get ready for live boxing action when World Fighting Championships 107 hits center stage on Saturday, June 8th. Then get ready to rock with Collective Soul and the Gin Blossoms on Tuesday, June 11th. Tickets available at the box office or Ticketmaster.com. Take a Vegas vacation without leaving the state. MGM Northfield Park. Las Vegas is here.
Hey now, don't forget, stay tuned for our good friends Big Chuck and Lil John. They are coming up next. Browns fans, I know you can't wait. Mike said earlier in the show that he's getting sick of this time of year. So here's your countdown to kickoff, Michael.
That's so many
Just
days.
98 short days.
Good Lord.
9 more Rizzo shows.
Yeah.
Can we do them?
I think we can swing it.
All right, get your plugs in, please.
Hey,
Plugs.
come down and see Pickwick and Frolic Tuesday night show. We'd love to see you there, 8 p.m.
Bring your horse down to the Old Town Road.
Yeah, that was fun.
Good to be alive.
Good night, folks.
Good night, everybody.